Hi guys, welcome back to my Genshin Impact video. In this video, I'm gonna talk about tier list of 5-star swords for Kamisato Ayato. One thing you need to pay attention to is this tier list is not theory crafting. It is more like a bigger picture of what to pick if you have these weapons. Your build and artifacts also can make the tier list totally different. So let's start from the S tier weapon. The first weapon, Haran Gepaku Futsu. This is his trademark sword and maybe the best for him. The attack stats is only medium and secondary stats is critical rate, which complement Ayato Ascension stats. Talking about stats, I prefer Primordial Jade Cutter. Sure, Jade Cutter only has 574 attack versus 608 attack, which this sword has. But Jade Cutter has higher critical rate than Haran Gepaku Futsu. Basically, Primordial Jade Cutter has 5.5% less attack for 11% more critical rate. So the main factor is the effect of the sword. R1 Haran Gepaku Futsu gives 12% elemental damage bonus and 40% normal damage boost for 8 seconds. However, you need to remember to use Ayato elemental skill after your other characters have unleashed their elemental skill to get maximum normal damage boost. Next one is Primordial Jade Cutter. This is, in my opinion, the best, if not the second best sword for Ayato. First, it has the highest critical rate boost for 5-star sword, 44.1% at level 90. Ayato Ascension stats is critical damage, 88.4% at maximum level. So with this weapon, it is already close to perfect 1-to-2 ratio. You also get increased health and attack based on your maximum health, which is enough to compensate for sword low attack stats. You get 240 attack boost on 20,000 health. More health also mean more Namisen damage bonus, which scales based on Ayato maximum health. This is even more important on C2 Ayato, where you can gather 5 Namisen stacks. The best part about this sword is it is simple and straightforward. No need to have others do elemental skill or anything else. But I must admit that Haran Gepaku Futsu effects are better. And the last sword on S tier is Mist Splitter Reforged. Depends on your artifact situation, this may be the best for your Ayato. Yes, the attack stats is the highest for swords, 674. The secondary stats is critical damage, which is always good for DPS characters. However, Ayato Ascension stats is critical damage. So reaching an ideal 1-to-2 ratio may be a little bit harder when you use this weapon. The elemental damage boost provided by this weapon is top-notch. You can easily get 40% elemental damage boost on R1. The main problem is the stack duration, which comes from using elemental burst, only lasts for 10 seconds, while the elemental burst lasts for 18 seconds. But again, since Ayato elemental skill only lasts for 6 seconds, then you probably already switched to another character. And because this increase elemental damage, not normal damage or anything, this sword also gives your elemental burst a little bit damage boost. Those are all the S tier sword. Now let's move to the A tiers. Skyward Blade. This weapon is quite nice for Ayato because of the increased attack speed and normal attack damage when you use his elemental burst. However, that's it. The secondary stats is energy recharge, something that Ayato doesn't need that much because he can regenerate his energy when his energy is below 40 and not used on the battle. And that's probably how you use Ayato, because after his elemental skill duration is off, you will switch to another character and his energy is gonna start regenerate. The critical rate boost is also small, only 4% on R1 and 8% on R5. Also remember that the attack speed and damage boost only happen when you use elemental burst. So it is not great when you only use elemental skill. However, you always want to use your elemental skill after burst because Ayato elemental burst increases your normal attack damage, so win-win situation, I guess. The next one, Summit Shaper. The sword has medium attack stats and the secondary stats is attack, which is not as nice as critical rate or damage, but still decent for any DPS. It is good sword for him if you have a shielder like Zhongli on your party. Without shielder, the effect is only 20% attack boost on R1, so not worth to be used. So only use this weapon when you have shielder on your party to get the amazing 40% attack buff. Good thing is one of Ayato's best partners is Yunjin, who is a Geo character. So you can create shields even when it is not as convenient as Zhongli or Noel. Those are the swords on A tier. Now let's move to the B tier. What I mean by the B tier swords is that it may be better to use compatible in quote 4-star sword than these swords. The first sword, Freedom Sword. This sword is useful if you want to wield Kazuto or support Ayato. The attack stats is medium, the secondary stats is Elemental Mastery, which is best used for swirl reaction. And Ayato is an animal character. However, Millennial Song movement resistance can be triggered even when Ayato is not on the field, and since his elemental burst lasts for 18 seconds, you have lots of time to trigger elemental reaction. The effects of millennial movements are also nice for Ayato himself, but I don't think it is reliable as you can only trigger these effects every 20 seconds, and maybe quite hard to time because the effects can happen even when Ayato is not on the field to battle. So like I said, this is only meant for support Ayato. And the last one, Aquila Favonius. This is probably the worst sword for Ayato. Sure, this sword has high base attack stats. However, the secondary stats physical damage bonus is not useful at all for Ayato because Ayato deals hydro damage after using elemental skill, and you want to do normal plane attack with him, right? You get 20% attack on first refinement, which is too small. For R5 Aquila Favonius, you get 40% attack boost, which is about the same as level 70 Summit Shaper secondary stats. But again, other 5-star swords are also better when they are on R5. The healing may be helpful in some situations where you don't want to switch out your Ayato, but again, why? Your elemental skill only lasts for 6 seconds. After that, you will want to switch out Ayato. But if not, then yes. Finally, the physical damage bonus is gonna be useful because your elemental skills effects are gone. The AoE damage is nice, but not something special or game breaking. And those are all the 5-star swords for Ayato. I will talk about 4 stars and 3 stars weapon in another video. So make sure you subscribe to my channel and like this video if it is useful for you. And also if you have different opinion, please leave it on the comment. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.